back with us again. You had so much fun last time. You wanted to come back and experience it all over again.
Thanks for having me back. I wanted to see this guy last time because last time we were together, you were presenting us the championship trophy, I believe, at Shaq's fantasy camp.
Yeah, I was on the opposite end of a beatdown by Coach. And Coach talked trash to me the whole game.
Really?
He was brutal on the court.
Wait, you were playing or coaching it?
I was playing. He was coaching.
Oh,
yeah.
He was a star.
Oh, okay. All right.
We already knew that.
He had a stacked team.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
We were loaded.
At least he admits it. All right, let's pretend it was late January and you decided to take a break from following the NBA, and then today you decided to check back in. Now I'm going to fill you in. Here's the update. Rockets still have not lost a game. Not since then. Nothing's changed. Last night they won their 16th straight game. They beat Oklahoma City. And the Warriors beat the Nets, their 6th win, stay a half game behind them in the West. All right, Coach, have the Rockets done enough for you to believe that they are indeed the best team?
They are. They're the one team in the West that I gave a chance of beating Golden State a couple weeks back when we were talking about this. And there's a number of reasons why. First of all, this is the one team that's not afraid to get in a shootout with Golden State. You want to shoot a three? We'll shoot a three. You want to shoot another? We'll shoot another three. So they're not afraid of Golden State's pace or the amount of points that they'll put up on the board. The next thing is you have 2 all-star, all-NBA point guards. You never have to have anything going on without one of them being on the floor. So you want to take Harden out, you still have Chris Paul on the floor. You can play them both together. This team scores easily, and they've improved at the offensive end because of adding people like, all of a sudden, late pickup, Joe Johnson. Big shot maker, end of game, not afraid to take that shot. You have the ability to score bundles of points in a hurry because of all the three-point shooters they have. The second unit is deeper. The most important thing to me is this is a much improved defense. Now, people don't realize this because we've known for the last 3 years that Golden State is not only the best offensively, but right at the top defensively. Right now, opponents' points per game, Houston's 13th in the NBA. Golden State's 21st. That's points per game that the opponents are scoring. Field goal percentage-wise, Golden State is ahead of Houston. So their defense is way ahead of where it ever was. They've added toughness in P.J. Tucker and Chris Paul. This is a different team.
Well, listen, when you're a coach or in the front office and you're building a team, you kind of go through check marks and say, okay, do we have enough shooters? Houston's got plenty of them. Do we have rim protection? They got that with Clint Capella. Do we have good perimeter defense? They got that with Ariza and Luke Richard Mbah-a-Moute. Bench scoring, Eric Gordon. Like the toughness. You mentioned P.J. Tucker, Nene. Like, I don't see, when I'm watching Houston, I don't see, there's not a yeah, but to me. Like, yeah, they have all these things, but I don't think they have that. Last year, the question was toughness and perimeter defense. Like, I don't see that with Houston. As great as Golden State is, their yeah, but is bench scoring. Right? Like, now, they can be overwhelming because of their starting lineup. But that, when I look at these two teams, that's the way I look at it. I'm curious how you feel on that.
Exactly. What Daryl Morey did in Houston is go out at the end of the season, obviously sat down with Mike D'Antoni and said, okay, where are our problems? Where don't we match up with Golden State? And they went out and added the stuff that they needed to add. And the season has been, look, the only time that they've had a dip in the season, I said in the beginning of the year, wow, Capella is really a much improved guy. The only dip that Houston has had is when Capella was out and missed those games. They lost 1 or 2 games in that stretch. But that's a down time for the season that they've had right now. 50 wins already, 13 losses. So everything that they need, they have. With Golden State, there is some question about the bench. I'll tell you what, when you watch them now, you know, they moved McGee into that starting lineup, and he's still there. You've got a pretty good group. Iguodala, not bad, coming off the bench. Swaggy P, which we're not allowed to say that anymore because they've completely eliminated that from the jargon of Golden State. Use his name. Don't give him any nicknames. They can score. They have points they can score.
Coach, Chris Paul, he's gotten criticism either being injured or his team just not being able to play at the level we've seen during the regular season in the postseason. Harden has come up small in some big series last year against San Antonio in game number 6, but also the coach. And I know you're fond of the coach and of the style. Give me some things that how they've changed. We talked about Daryl Morey, how they got some toughness. How have they changed since January 17th? Because on that day, they were 5 games behind Golden State. And since then, Golden State has been 37-9, and they've been 30-12. What changes have they made in that time that when we look at the game, we could see why they've gotten so much better?
Well, Chris, let's look at it this way. First of all, it may not be as much as what Houston has done since they were 5 games behind, to rather what Golden State hasn't done. Golden State lost a little bit of interest in the game going to the All-Star break. And Steve Kerr was the first to say this. We need a break. Remember, he turned the clipboard over to one of the players and said, you draw. They stopped. They tune out the voice of the head coach. 3 straight years to the NBA Finals, a lot of games together. I added up last night how many playoff games they've played in the last 3 years. 62.
It's almost a full season.
62. And last year they only played 17 playoff games.
Yes.
So 62 playoff games in the last 3 seasons. And now you're back again at it. They needed to get away. They needed to recharge the battery. Now come back, and because the All-Star break has been pushed back so far, when you come back from the All-Star break, 24, 25 games left, you can see the finish line.
That's the bell lap.
The finish line is right there.
Yes.
But with Golden State, even last night, against a team that just doesn't have enough talent right now in the Nets, Golden State was drubbing them in the first quarter. I think it was 34-15 or 35-14 in the first quarter, and then the exact opposite in the second quarter. Like, even post-All-Star break, tell me what you saw with Golden State last night. It seems to me like they have trouble keeping interest within an entire half of basketball, much less an entire month of basketball.
Here's what happened last night. They start out the game. Steph Curry goes for 13 points in the first quarter. They start out the second half. Steph Curry goes for 18 points, 31 points between the first and third quarter. But inevitably, what comes up to bite Golden State all the time? Turnovers. 28th in the league in turnovers, and it happened again last night. The turnovers allowed Brooklyn to get back in it. And the one thing about Brooklyn, you know they're going to shoot 40 to 45 threes.
Right,
if they're making them, they get back in the game. If they're not, they get blown out. They haven't gotten blown out lately. They've lost a lot of tough games, but they're right there.
Or maybe is it that Golden State knows what they need to do to win, right? They know they're going to be there in the postseason. They know how to win all of it. And maybe they don't have to come out firing like Houston does every single night. So they came out firing last night. The Nets got back in it. Then they won when they had to. Because at the end of these close games, the good teams keep winning, even when their heart's not 100% in it. And it's the mediocre teams, like when Boston had that tough stretch, that just couldn't pull it together in the fourth quarter.
You know what's so great about Golden State? The team, they check each other. So just when they start to get a little cocky and maybe look past the team, one of them walks up to the other one and said, we got to get back in this game.
Yes.
Mentally, because they can turn it on physically, and their play can be so good that they can bury you in a 2-minute stretch. Thompson starts hitting threes. Curry starts hitting threes. Last night, Green was making shots. You got a big problem then.
Real quick, do you think the 1 seed matters to Golden State?
I do. I think they're smart enough and been through enough. Are they good enough to win without it? Yes, but they also know what Game 7 means in your own building in the finals.
Thank you, Coach.
Sounds good. Coach, thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
As always. Coming up, hey, is James Harden about to finish second in the MVP vote again? It's next on First Things
We're not
First.
doing that to Harden. Come on. Can't be 3 out of 4 years.